What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. So tonight's video is a follow-up video, which I didn't have to make, and I don't have to make this, but I do feel like doing what's right is right, period. And most of you know on this channel that you've been watching me for a while. Some of you I've met, some of you I've interacted with, you know, through emails and stuff. Some of you I've actually been clients. You guys know that I'm not out to hurt anyone or out to discourage anyone from following someone else or whatever the case may be, or even put out information that is damaging. It's not my way, and you guys know that. But I put out the video about the breast implants illness and how it coincides with adrenal fatigue syndrome, which got a great response. Thank you guys all for the response. But I want to clarify a few things right now. First of all, nobody tells me what to do with my channel, period. I don't give a fuck who you are, what you think you should do, whether I should stay in my own lane, does not fucking matter. This is my space, and if you don't like it, stay in your own fucking space and don't come on here, period. But that being said, I got contacted by Chris Bumstead today, and Chris Bumstead is actually Courtney King's boyfriend. And I mentioned Courtney King in the video about how she's going through breast implant illness. I'm not sure the exact name because there's actually a couple different names about how this illness is caused by implants, and she actually has recalled implants from what I understand, and she has this illness and has had her implants removed. And Chris Bumstead, who I've met before, and he's like such a chill guy, like an easygoing guy, was upset with me, and I was like, what the fuck? So I start reading this message from him, and he was very upset to the fact that he felt, and this is how I'm interpreting this, is he felt, and I'm sure that it wasn't just him, I'm sure that Courtney herself had seen the video and she was upset, and Chris was upset because she was upset, and he came to talk to me like he was defending his girl, which is admirable. That's what we all do, right? Period. Now, that being said, Chris felt like I insinuated that Courtney used a lot of bodybuilding drugs and never took time off and abused them, etc., because of the things that I said in the video. And I stepped back and I was like, first of all, I never said that. And he said, well, you insinuated. I was like, well, that's the problem. Chris doesn't really know me. I'm not the insinuating guy. If I don't like you, I'm not going to be like, I don't know about that guy. I'm like, I don't fucking like that guy. If I'm like, oh, that's a fucking stupid show, I'm not going to be like, it's okay. It's a fucking stupid show. You don't have to interpret the words I say because I'm not the interpretation guy. I'm the fucking straightforward, to your face guy. If I don't like you, I'll tell you. So I said, shit, he's interpreting things that he heard because he doesn't know that my words are my fucking words and I mean what I say. So I stand behind everything I said in that video, but I thought if Chris is seeing this way, and if Courtney is seeing this way, then maybe other people that are watching the video are seeing what they see, which they don't understand my way, right? So I said, okay, well, that would not be the message that I want to get across. So here we are making this video now. Now this video is, and I'm not going to say it's an apology for the things that I said, because I did not do anything wrong with that video. I stand by everything I said. You know, some people think that this breast implant thing is new. Well, when many of these people that we're talking about were like fucking 8-year-olds, I was already in the fitness industry, okay? And they had implant illness back in like 1991, okay? That's how long this shit's been going on. So it's not new, right? So for someone to say like, well, Jerry doesn't know what he's talking about, I've been along way before these motherfuckers. Like, yes, I've seen way more than they have because I've been around. I'm fucking older. That's how that works. But neither here nor there, I do not want people to think that I think, I insinuate, I said, I implied that Courtney King not only used drugs but abused them. I do not think Courtney King abused drugs. I do not think she was using drugs. I do not think her illness is from drugs. That is not what I said. That is not what I implied. That is not what I meant. And I think 99% of you get that, but I felt like if Chris and Courtney could get that out of it, maybe some other people could too. So I should make a video to definitely explain there's a difference between what I was talking about Courtney and about the other women who I personally know. Here's the thing. Yes, I've trained IFBB bikini pros, Jessica Jesse, Morgan Barnes. I have trained top national level bikini pros. I have trained people, not pros, top national level bikini competitors. I have trained local competitors. I have seen drug stacks that these women have brought to me because Chris, I don't think, believed that I actually know anybody because Chris doesn't know me. But these women come to me to train them. These are teams. There were teams out there of bikini girls before that are no longer around. Why do you think that is? The teams were loading the girls up with drugs. They were giving them the drugs. How do I know? Because the girls brought me the fucking drugs. They literally brought them and handed them to me. And they came in little fucking bags, not even labeled, but they had GP, which was Genesa Pharmaceutical. I knew exactly what company it was, and I knew what the fucking pills were in the bags. So yes, I know what the fuck they were taking. I know how much they were taking. I know what they were doing. I know what they were doing diet-wise. I know all that shit. And I kind of stepped back and I said, you know what? Here's the deal. There are many women out there. The whole video was about, I should clarify this. The whole video was about how much influence these influencers like Courtney, like Chris Bumstead, etc., have on the people that follow them. And that meaning there are a new type of implant called gummy bears. This is actually the type of implant that my wife has. And it is not a silicone bag. It doesn't contain liquid silicone in it. It doesn't have saline. There's no silicone bag. It's a solid silicone implant. It cannot leak. It cannot give you the issues that Courtney is having and these other women are having, okay? So there are women with the gummy bear implants now freaking the fuck out because Courtney and these other influencers didn't say, it's not this type, it's this type. They're not making it very clear about what's actually going on. They're just using the implant itself. Well, you can't make a broad generalization that implants are causing this because then the women that are completely fine freak the fuck out because they're in contest prep. They're competing. They are using tons of drugs and they're having all these side effects and they go, oh fuck, it's from my implants. Well, that's the deciding factor that makes them think that it's the implants is the influencer that they're following. They think, oh, it happened to Courtney, so that's what's happening to me. But they don't even realize Courtney wasn't doing the drugs. Courtney wasn't doing anything like that. She had recalled implants. There was so much more going on with what was going on with her than these other girls that are actually loading themselves up with fucking drugs and putting themselves through crazy contest preps and fucking themselves with adrenal fatigue, doing these crazy long diets year-round and shit. And that was the whole point was, do not freak the fuck out when you see these influencers talking about something that happened to them. Take it with a grain of salt. If you think there's something wrong with you, go to the doctor. Don't freak out. Just go to the doctor and say, here's the deal. I watched this influencer. This is what's happening to her. Do you think this could be this? And you're a plastic surgeon that puts your gummy bear implants in will be like, no, they're gummy bears. Instead, they automatically go to the point of like, I got to get these things out. I'm going to feel better. I'm like, that's not going to solve it because you're going to continue doing the contest preps. You're going to continue using the drugs. And guess what? You're going to continue having those side effects. And the problem is, I could say, you know, right now, I could say, this marker is black, right? And some people would go, Jerry's got a black marker. Good for him. What the fuck? He's such a weirdo. Other people are like, well, Jerry's a racist. He called the marker black. You can't say black. It's racist. People hear what they want to hear. They don't hear what you really say. And I think that in the instance of Chris Bumstead, and maybe Courtney too, I think that in general, they're used to having people not being upfront and honest and just saying what they mean and the truth and not beating around the bush. And having to figure out if someone's trying to scam them, someone's trying to hurt them, if someone's out to get them, they're trying to figure out what's really going on. So when they see me and they don't know me, they go, well, this fucking guy, he said something about drugs and stuff. He must be talking about fucking Courtney. And I'm like, that's not what I said. So let's make a very clear distinction right now. I stand by everything I said. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I mean, matter of fact, Phil Heath's wife, Cherie, is actually going through the same thing right now. I talked to her today. And she had a lot of facts, and Phil himself actually gave me some facts to look at and stuff like that. And the FDA made an alert in 2011 about this implant illness, right? And I'm like, this is great. This is great that you guys have the facts, and they're actually planning on putting the facts out and actually getting more information out there to people so they can help people. Like, that's their goal, right? But I'm like, back in 1991, when half of you didn't have a fucking clue, or you were still in fucking grade school, some of you weren't even fucking born yet, they already knew about this. So they were developing new types of implants, and they still were getting things wrong, and there were implants being recalled, and there were things that going on. But 1991, not just 2011. And through that, they have changed this, 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 and this. But since 2011, we're in 2019 now. That's almost a decade since that fact came out. People now in 2019 and 2018, 2017, these bikini competitors have been pushing drugs so much like never before, not like they did back in 2011, not like they did back in 1991. It's completely different. These bikini competitors get their hands on drugs that they should never have any business getting their hands on. That's part of the problem I was getting to. Like, if you're a bikini competitor, do not fucking load yourself up on fucking drugs. And it got kind of misconstrued because I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? And I watched the video again myself. I looked at it, I said, what the fuck did I say that could be misconstrued as to like attacking Courtney King or whatever the fuck it was. It's like, I can't, nowadays you can't say a fucking name. You can't say anything about anybody because they don't understand where you're coming from. They don't look at you and say, I went back and I watched the video. I never once said Courtney King did drugs. I never once said that she abused drugs. I never once said any of that shit. I talked about her breast implant illness and how an influencer, other women are going to look at her that may not necessarily have any of that going on and think that they will. And these girls that are, you know, going to be convinced as hell, they're not going to listen to other doctors and shit. They're going to go to a doctor who finally says, let's just take the implants out and that'll be the end of it. And then what's going to happen, and again, this is not Courtney King I'm talking about. I'm talking about other women. There's a lot of other women out there right now who are having problems that have nothing to do with the implants, but they're trying to find a solution because there are scientific communities saying, and these are not actual fucking, there's like a doctor here, a doctor there saying adrenal fatigue is not a real thing. And I'm like, technically, and we went through all this in the other video, but I'm not going to go through it again. But the bottom line is, when you have doctors saying adrenal fatigue is not a real thing, and it actually is a real thing and it affects thousands, if not millions of women, it rules that out completely, which may be the cause of what's happening to these girls. And instead they go right to the implant thing because now it's a big fad. And a big fad is not because of Courtney King. Courtney King had an issue when she came out with that issue, and now she's sharing her story, which is to help other women. It's the other women that take her story and run sideways with it and create this entire narrative that really, it's not what's going on. There's multiple narratives going on, and they're trying to group everything into one just because they feel like, well, Courtney King found the answer. Courtney King found a answer, and she found the answer that was for her, and that may apply to you, but it may not. That was the whole fucking point. The fact that I even have to make this fucking video is fucking stupid. But I honestly sat back and I said, you know what, I don't want, you know, if Courtney and Chris both got that out of the video, I don't want other people to think that that's what I was saying, because it's not. I'm not about starting shit. I'm not about starting rumors. I'm not about fucking doing things that are going to be ill will towards other people. It's just not my fucking way, but these people don't know me, so they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna think that. So I'm like, you know what, let me make the video, make things very clear, because you have to be politically correct. This is a black magic marker. No, Jerry, this is a magic marker with all of the colors in the entire fucking spectrum that make that color. Like, I can't use the word black because people may not fucking like the word black. It's like you have to do it every single fucking way to, you know, you can't please everybody, but this is my platform. This is my lane. I will be staying in my lane. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine. If you have an issue with something I said and you want to contact me and be adult about it, if you want to have a conversation, like Chris and I had a conversation. It wasn't an attack. You could tell he was upset, and rightfully so, and I understood that. But I also want him, Courtney, and anyone else to know that the facts that I said are facts. We live here in DC, where the Plastic Surgery Institute of America is. There are facts and stuff that you can find out from these surgeons here that are cutting edge, that they're not getting everywhere yet because they're not published yet. But again, people don't know that. Why should I have to say that? All I have to do is go out there and say, here's the deal. This person has a problem with their implants. That very may well be their problem. However, that may not be your problem. All the symptoms, not all the symptoms, but many of the symptoms overlap with a lot of things. Most doctors don't really know what the fuck's going on with you till you get in there, give them all the symptoms, and they have like 3 different things. They usually pick the 3 that they see the most of. They say, this is the one. They pick that one. And they say, if this medication doesn't make you better, then we'll move the medication. We'll try, you know, this medication for this thing. Because even the doctors don't know, because some symptoms overlap. So if the actual doctors who deal with this shit on a daily basis have overlapping symptoms, you have to be very careful of a doctor that says, no, this is exactly what it is. Well, that may not be what it is. If these other trained professionals, PhDs that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years working in the field, if they can say, these things may not line up to be this one thing, it could be 2, 3, or 4 different things, or one or any combination of those, then I don't think any one doctor, no matter how much they're an expert, can make a blanket statement and say, yes, if you have these symptoms, this is what's happening, get your implants taken out. That was the whole point of the fucking video. But here I'm making a second follow-up video, which is completely fucking stupid. But again, it's not to cause anyone pain. It's not to upset anyone. It's not to throw anyone under the bus. It's not to make people think Courtney's a bad person, think that Chris is a bad person, think that fucking anyone's a bad person. It's literally to put information to make you fucking think. And no, I don't put links. People go, put links, Jerry. Here's the deal. If you're too lazy to find the information, you will never apply it. It's the easiest part of your whole journey is to find the information. Applying the information takes 10 times more effort and energy, if not 1,000 times more effort and energy. So you are responsible for yourself. My goal is to make you think. If you think, you will research. If you're truly interested enough, because I can give you the links, you'll read it and then forget about it. If you truly are interested in the stuff that I say, you'll go, Jerry said breast implant illness since 2011. You'll put that in Google, you'll find all the information, you'll research it and understand it yourself. My goal is to make you think, not take you by the hand like a little fucking kid, feed you everything so that you don't really admire, not ever say admire, but you don't really hold that stuff as important to you as if you found it on your own, you did your own research. So if you have the symptoms that Courtney has, if you have the symptoms that Phil Heath's wife is having, if you have the symptoms that the girls are having, look into it. Talk to your doctor. Get multiple diagnoses. You know, see if you even have the same type of implant. If you don't, talk to the doctor anyways. Get a couple different opinions. See what the fuck is going on. But don't just jump to a conclusion because an influencer says this is what's happening to them. The influencer may very well be talking, and I can't say may very well because someone like Chris Bumstead may be, well, he's insinuating. I'm not insinuating. The influencer may very well be telling, the influencer is telling the truth, okay? But that's them. It may not be you. So you have to figure out what's going on with you. That's the whole fucking point. So hopefully this video clears up some shit that fucking I really didn't have to fucking do. But like I said, Chris is a very chill guy. He's a very nice guy. I've interacted with him before. And to see him upset actually upset me, and it made me feel bad. It did, because I know he's not a guy that runs around acting like an asshole. And I'm just like, well, I don't even know Courtney, but if he's upset, then she's upset. And that wasn't the point. You know, I wish both of them well, and I hope that her recovery is quick. And that is not a bullshit statement just saying just to be nice. It's actually what I feel. I hope she heals fast. I hope that she recovers. And I hope that her story helps fucking hundreds, thousands of millions of girls. But understand, guys, there are so many symptoms out there that can cross over to things. And that was the whole point of the fucking video, is that just because someone's an influencer doesn't mean that you're taking right after them, no matter how much you want to be like them. No matter how much you want to emulate them, does not mean that's what's going on with your life. So always take care of yourself. You're an individual and you're about you. You should worry about you and take care of yourself. And if those influencers spark something that can help you, that's all you can ask for. BiologicTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BiologicTraining.com is a blog. It's the influencer bullshit bicep, and we are out.